Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. Nice to see everyone back here again on another edition of Say Hey Plays. Dabby Cab here as well as he is on Wednesdays. Dabby, I'm in a better mood than I thought I was going to be coming into the show because I thought the Orioles were about to fold up there and give up the lead, but tie game in the ninth inning right now. So it's going to be a sweat. I'm on Orioles money line, as most people know already. Dabby Cab, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I was just saying, Astros lose that game. It looks like they'll be a half game back behind the Rangers, right?
I think they'll be out of the playoffs. Yeah, I think they'll be out of the playoffs because the Mariners are beating the A's, obviously. So then the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Astros would be sitting out. So it'd be that's pretty wild. I would hate to see it. I said I went to the game obviously yesterday. I told Jimmy this morning. I was like, I think the Orioles are every bit for real now. Maybe it's just because the Astros aren't as good as they usually are, and I have the Astros on a pedestal always, but. The Orioles are fucking great, and I think they're actually going to make the World Series, shockingly enough. Yeah, the Astros might be bad. Who knows?
We'll see, man. It's going to be a close race at the division. It's going to be fun to watch this series with the Mariners and the Rangers. I know that.
Yeah, they play. Their Rangers schedule is hilarious because it's Mariners for 3, Angels for 3, and I think Mariners for 3 or 4 again. And it's like, damn. That's the season right there. That's it.
Yeah, you can't have it any other. That's how you want it, I guess, if it's going to come down to it.
Well, it's fucked. I think you know this. Obviously, I have my Rangers to not make the playoffs bet, but I also when I was in Tennessee, sweet legal gambling in Tennessee on FanDuel, I put in the Mariners to win the World Series as well. So I'm just gonna be just rooting hard as fuck for the Mariners in those games, and it's gonna be very funny because obviously everyone knows me as a Rangers hater now, I guess.
It's like the second game yesterday or 2 days ago. They finally have like all 6 of their All-Stars in the lineup. They haven't had it all pretty much the whole season since the All-Star break.
Well, shout out to Josh Young, one of the best not Red Sox, one of the best San Antonio baseball players of all time. So, shout out to him. All right, let's get into this card, Dabby, because I have one bet on it going forward. I obviously have the Orioles bet in as well, so I'll be sweating that out live. Hopefully, the Astros don't walk it off in front of my face. That would suck, but obviously, the Orioles bullpen is shaky now. But let's get into it. Let's start off with a shit game that I don't care about at all. Rays Angels minus 248 for Mr. Aaron Savali here, and it all makes sense, and it's moved drastically towards the Rays as well. So it's not like a Rays minus 1.5 spot. It's not like I'd hate that at all, but. It's just one of those spots where I think it's either Rays or nothing here, Dabby, especially because the line has moved towards them, and we've seen Troy all year cash out on those. And admittedly, I've considered betting that the Rays minus 1.5 here just because of Troy and his ability to succeed on those. But it's minus 1.5, minus 125. So I don't know if I'm going to go there, Dabby. What do you think?
I mean, if they were on the road, or it wasn't as much juice, I think I'd take the Rays run line. But I'm not going 2.5 at home, and I'm also not excited about that. But I mean, they don't have any reason to let off the gas just yet. I mean, I think this is all around a Rays spot. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say about it. I'm not betting it though.
Agreed. I'm not betting it either. I believe a little bit too much juice for me. 96% of the bets, 76% of the money on the Rays here. So very, very shocking enough. And by the way, one of these trends and shit that we track all the time here, well, not really track, but we talk about the 1% of the bets or money spots, I should say. The Rangers earlier today, 45% of the bets and 1% of the money on them.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Action's saying. So very interesting. So keep that in mind, I guess. So sorry, Ronnie Amberger, the Red Sox suck. I apologize. But nice to see Rocco Rogers in here as well. Let's move on to our second game. Mets Marlins. Kodai Senga versus Yuri Perez. An actually good pitching matchup, but this total went from 7 to 7.5 here, Dabby Cab. And I fear that someone might get touched up here. And I don't know who. And I talk about this often as well. Those obvious under spots with the two good pitchers always find a way to go over here. So I know how you feel about 3.5. So I have not looked at the 3.5 or what the price is for that, but or if it is there, I should say, I guess. But what do you think of this game?
As much as Miami struggles to, score runs, they still have the sixth best team batting average in baseball, sitting at 258. They just they struggle with, slugging percentage, 19th in baseball. I still think they could put up some runs here, though. Senga's been outstanding. He's been the brightest spot for the Mets. So I lean Miami here, even with Senga on the mound. I think they get to the bullpen. I think maybe you just take Miami on as a short favorite here with Perez on the mound, but I haven't bet this one, and with the total, I wouldn't feel good about it like I usually do.
Yeah, it's going to be a good, fun matchup at least. But I have a feeling that our guy Yuri Perez might get touched up here. So I'm staying off. This opened up at -125 for the Marlins here. Very interestingly enough, you can see it's dropped, and man, it's hilarious. It's dropped, and it's 75% of the bets and 67% of the money on the Marlins here. So the Mets are immediately very interesting to me here. So I'll consider betting them here. We'll come back to them, it seems, but I am off for now. Let's go to my bet. And I decided we'll talk this out. Shout out to the people in this large baseball group chat that I'm in. I looked at the days coming up lines, today's lines last night, and I saw Kevin Gausman in the Blue Jays were -117. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, so what is it? And then I texted in a group. I was like, is this real life? Is anyone else get this? And then shout out to Nick Earl or whatever, or Nicholas Earl, I should call him, I guess, because that's his Twitter name. But everyone knows him. And he's like, just wait, it's official line. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I waited, and I told myself, if this is a -130 when I wake up, it'll be the Blue Jays spot. And if it hasn't moved at all, this is the most obvious Yankee spot ever to me then. And it has unsurprisingly not moved at all. Or I guess unsurprising. I guess it's surprising to me, but so maybe if you thought it was a trap, shout to Earl. But 47% of the bets and 71% of the money on the Blue Jays. No line movement, basically. Like 2 cents, 3 cents. I took the Yankees money line here, disgustingly enough here. And I might add Yankees -1 here as well to double up on it, Dabby Cab. I'm a little frightened to go first 5 because I believe Kevin Gausman's very good here. And I think this could be an easily low-scoring game because Michael King has been pretty solid since he's come into the rotation. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this game because this is one of those games that I know you don't like fading Kevin Gausman, but
he's not like as scary as some people. It's just, it's like you said, it's a fishy ass line. I mean, you look at what the Blue Jays do, like offense 265 on the road. I mean, they hit better on the road. They play well in Yankee Stadium too. There's some interesting numbers like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has a 968 OPS when visiting Yankee Stadium. Maybe a first 5 over. I bet you can't get a 3.5 at a good price. You probably have to do 4. But I might go with the first 5 over in this game.
That's disgusting. I'm talking now. I'm not
I know.
Talking about
I know what you're talking about already.
But yeah, the Astros, of course, walk it off. Now I don't know why I bet against the Astros when they're in a sweep spot now twice, and they've found a way to win both games. I'm just like, oh god, I should know better, but that's a part of betting the Orioles, So, but it's still a close ass game there, and their bullpen obviously taking a hit, but. Man, oh man, would I be interested in the Orioles? I'm going to continue betting the Orioles every game in the playoffs too, it seems. But we'll get there when we get there. It's going to be fun talking about all that. Who knows who's even going to be in the playoffs? The Astros found a way to fucking stay in it, I guess. All the AOS teams are going to win then. Very money. And by the way, look at this. Preston's mentioning Sharpie's like 2-unit bet. His pay his rent money play of the month is Kevin Gausman over 7.5 strikeouts. as well. And I figured that was his play as well because the Yankees bats are horrible. So I definitely do think this is going to be a low scoring game as well. So I might even take the under in this game. So Yankees money line official for me. I got it at plus 108, I believe. And I will calculate the run line, or the -1, I should say, here in a second. Dabby, let's move on. And I'd love to hear your thoughts here while I calculate the run line. Cubs Pirates, a good pitching matchup with Helen Mitch Keller and Justin Steele.
You ready? You want me to go now? So Steele, man, is one of those guys that I've said he's been one of the better pitchers all season. I mean, you can see his record sitting there 16-4. He's definitely been the Cubs ace. And Cubs have just been bet on here. I think I think if you look at Keller, he hit a rough spot for a little bit, but he's been I don't have his numbers in front of me, but he's been throwing good. I think he had 8 innings, no runs his last start, or 8 innings, 1 run. But I still think even with him throwing better again, I think the Cubs are going to drive in runs here. I think Bellinger is a good look for RBI props. Shout out to Mike M, always doing the RBI props. I think Bellinger would be a good look. I think Steele is going to limit the Pirates here. They're only averaging 4.19 runs a game, and he's a upper tier pitcher. So, and this is a good bounce back spot for him too. He allowed 6 runs in his last start. I think this is a bounce back stop. Cubs first 5 right here is what I would bet. Yeah,
I remember being on him, and for those of you asking, am I going to be on the Cubs yet again? Because I was betting the Cubs every day, and then of course when I start betting them every day, Dabby Cab, the fucking wheels fall off the fucking railroad for them, and now they're hanging on by a thread in the wild card, if we're gonna be honest right now. Like, they were a team that I had them in the playoffs, like, pretty secure. Like, they made the deadline moves and everything, but now they got swept by the Diamondbacks. That fucking didn't help them. And they're a half game up now on the Marlins, which is going to be very interesting to watch. I think they win here today as well. I agree with those who think this could be a low scoring game, but I don't have the stones, I guess, to take the under here. I haven't bet many totals in a long time. And I will say, it did open at 8. It's dropped down to 7.5. So if you're betting the under, you're feeling good. And market for the under, not really surprising. 68% of the bets, 95% of the money on the under. So moving on. Oh, and by the way, 92% of the bets and 80% of the money on the Cubs as well. And I still have to calculate the -1. So Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals. I was so fucking pissed at myself, Dabby Cab, because I told myself I was going to bet Adam Wainwright's every start of his after his 199th win. I was going to bet every start until he got to 200, expecting that it might take him like 2 starts. And of course, he goes out there, shoves 7 innings shut, the whole thing. I wasn't on it. Pissed me the fuck off because I was obviously at the Rangers game, and I was just pissed off that game too. So at least the Red Sox winning really saved that night from being truly disastrous, Dabby. I will tell you that. But it's an interesting spot here for the Cardinals because the Brewers have taken a lot of money. This was -105 earlier today, and very interestingly enough, 76% of the bets and only 39% of the money on the Brewers. And this line has moved towards the Brewers. So that means there are obviously bigger bets on the Cardinals here. And could you imagine? It seems like someone or obviously people say there are syndicates, whatever. But could you imagine making a big bet on this game? On the Cardinals, and then just fucking scoffing at you and moving the line towards the Brewers? Because that's basically what happened here.
I mean, I don't know why you'd want to bet on the Cardinals in this. This is a spot where the Brewers, they know they have to win here. There's a lot on the line when it comes to the playoffs being around the corner, and they've got the better starter on the mound, in my opinion. So they have the stronger pitching. Even in the bullpen, from top to bottom, they have the better pitching. Offenses, I'd put about even. I mean, the Cardinals' offense is still decent, but I'd put these offenses about even, and I'd give the pitching favor to the Brewers, and they need to win. So yeah, I'd look Brewers.
Yeah, I lean Brewers. They were one of the plays I considered adding, but I didn't end up doing so. So I considered the Brewers as well. Like I said, I only have 2 bets, but who knows? Maybe I'll turn into Dabby Cab and just be Mr. Low Volume.
Good for you, man. You keep your record positive.
No, we both. Yeah, it'd be nice to get there again. 2-0 yesterday though. That was nice. So 0-1
I
right now.
haven't looked in a while, bro. Tell me you're still at least like close.
We're not going to talk about that right now. So we will move.
No, are you kidding? Where's my phone?
They don't call me reverse sweep Ramon for no reason, Dabby Cab. That's they don't call me that for no reason. I'll tell you that.
Come on, Jose.
It's taken me so long to fucking find this -1.5 for the damn Yankees. Plus 161 is also for the -1 on the Yankees as well. So there you go. By the way, shout out to everyone in the chat: Markel, Truth Teller, Jacqueline, who I almost gave a 5-minute suspension to for putting footballs in the chat during baseball time. I almost did it, admittedly.
Oh, don't be sour. Everybody knows it's football time.
I disagree. It's still baseball season. Ronnie Ambergia,
I mean, that's just because
Jojo
UTSA
Rabbit,
sucks.
Manny 47 Loud, and Mike Gundy can't pick one quarterback, so that's also good. Rocco, Preston, all you guys, we appreciate you guys. Rem most. I tweet it out every day, Rem. I'm sorry. Limited time to make graphics.
I know you heard what I said.
What? UTSA sucks? Yeah.
They're trash,
You know?
bro.
What are you going to do? We had our backup quarterback in against Army.
Don't make excuses for that bad football team.
I told Connor Mack. He texted me for something. I forgot what it was. And then I told him I was going to the UTSA game to probably watch them lose. And I did. It was great. But, Dabby Cat, you want to hear a funny story? I stormed out of that game fucking furious. I left at like halftime, didn't say bye to anyone. I left fucking heated because the fucking cocksuckers, the Milwaukee Brewers, I think it was the Brewers, scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning against the Nationals, and I had money line and plus a half, and I was just like, yeah, I finally cashed them both. And then I checked the score and I saw that, and I was like, I'm getting out of here. Fuck this. I was so angry, and I just put my headphones in and I park at Southtown. So I walk to fucking the Southtown. It's a 30-minute walk where I just decompress all of my anger. And I was so fucking angry. So shout out to the Brewers. Let's go on to our last game. Tigers, Dodgers here. Reese Olson, Bobby Miller. And shout out to Jimmy, who talked about potentially backing Reese Olson here after a good start for Reese. But the market move has definitely indicated to me that this is a Dodgers or nothing here for me, because it's 93% of the bets, 78% of the money on the Dodgers, and yet it is still moved in their direction. Opened up at -230, now like -255, as you see on the screen. So I think it'll probably be Dodgers -1.5 here. So that would also, and again, shout out to Troy Torrance. We know, again, Troy Torrance has been keeping track of that stat where, you know, if more money's on the home or the favorite and it's at home and the line moves towards it, it's just a dominant spot. So I think I might end up on the Dodgers. I might end up also on the other big favorite run line as well. So, Dabby, let me hear your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I know Reese Olson's had, he's had good performances over his last 4 starts, but, 2 of those 4 came against, Chicago White Sox, which he only gave up 2 earned runs through 13 2/3 innings. So I think this is a different team, obviously, in the Dodgers, without question. They've got 128 runs created plus, a 216 ISO against right-handed pitchers in the last 10 days, over 270 plate appearances. And I think Miller is going to pitch well in this situation. The Tigers have struggled, only 79 runs created plus against righties in the last 10 days. And I think this is a spot for him to shove. Dodgers or nothing.
Los Dodgers or nothing. Debbie, do me a favor, because I'm looking for the line here. What is our guy Rocco Rogers, who's a known Dodgers whisperer, saying about his Dodgers today?
He said Bobby is going to shove.
Good old Bobby Miller, huh? And Bobby Miller, who I think they already said is going to be their fucking. Someone said there's going to be his game 1 starter already for the playoffs. I was like, what? That's crazy. And he just got a Yandy Diaz basis. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to be on. Taking some juice, and if I say that, I know if Pete's somewhere out there shaking his fist if I don't play it.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
I'll lay the juice -127. Dodgers full game run line. Good times there. And I'm also, and I mentioned I'm going to be on the other one here. I'm going to take the Rays as well. Rays run line -125 for me there as well. So 3 additions on this card ends up being. So it'll be fun. Dabby, do you have any bets today?
Yeah, I'll take that first 5 over in the Blue Jays Yankees. It's probably going to be a 4. I have to look at my phone and see what line I can get when this is done.
Beautiful. And you can follow at Dabby Cab on Twitter or X. I think people that are calling it X now are kind of lame. I'm not going to lie. It's still Twitter.
Yeah, it's
still
Twitter.
Twitter.
It's always
still
Twitter.
But follow Dabby Cab on Twitter at Dabby Cab, and you'll see his pick there. So thank you, Dabby Cab, as always. My card here, I just took an L on Orioles money line -122. That was very fucking annoying. I will admit it. Very annoying there, but it's okay. I'm on New York Yankees money line +108. I am adding New York Yankees -1 at +161. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, so that might be a little dice, but that's why we're on the -1 there. Get some hopeful plus monies, as they say. And I'm eating the juice here in the last 2 plays. Big favorite run lines. It's not. It seems pretty square, honestly, but Dodgers -1.5, -127, and Rays -1.5, -125. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And now I'm 424, 433, and 70, down 10.91 units now after a tumultuous. And one of the reasons why I'm down that hole is the fucking Milwaukee Brewers as well. Like I said, or whoever it was. Like I said, I was just blind rage, like just blind. If I would have saw another person like a Brewers hat, I might have fought him right there. Just because.
Oh, I wish I would have known. I would have put my Brewers hat on.
Yeah, I would have fucking bit you. I fight dirty. But thank you, Dabby Cab, as always, for joining. When's the next time we're going to see you on the airwaves?
Saturday, man. We're going to do a live college football stream. I don't know what game it is yet. Jimmy hasn't told me. But I do know that we're 3-0 on the bets that we've taken so far in the 2 streams this year. So make sure and tune in so we can cash out. Live betting college football is a blast.
Yeah, and it's actually a fun college football weekend.
A lot of good games.
Do you have an opinion on the Colorado game? Obviously, that's anyone wants to talk about, apparently.
I think the spread is probably right where it should be. I mean, I'd lean Colorado, but I think the spread's probably right. Look, I'm a fan of Dion. I'm a believer. I like what he's done. I'm not a hater for any reason. I'm just being honest, man. I said it the other day. The difference in Colorado right now and what they'll be in 2 years will be, huge. They're just not deep right now. So injuries are really going to affect them. We're not going to go into that injury, that hit on the sidelines, but that was pretty interesting.
That was pretty interesting. That guy kind of looked like you. The
what
safety.
Because he was white?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're putting the pieces together. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Go Buff. Shout out to Steve G. Rocco in here adding Gosman over 7.5 Ks. I honestly should add that, Rocco, because if Sharpie's literally going to pay his rent with that, why wouldn't I? But I guess I'm not going to. Londo in here dropping his winner. Shout out to you, Londo. Nice to see you. Director 97, Jojo Rabbit. All you guys, we appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter. Dabby Cab will be on live streams this weekend talking college football. A great weekend in college football, like you mentioned. I'll be back tomorrow morning with one James the Bag. By the way, everyone, Jimmy the Bag's birthday is October 4th for a reminder for everyone. So get your guns up and ready to go October 4th.
Dude, it's like September. The fuck you telling us about his birthday in like October?
People forget. but just a reminder, October 4th. I'm a good friend. That's what I am.
God. Mine's
say
in
hey.
December, if you were wondering.
What day?
The 29th.
All right, I'll write that down. Say hey, we'll see you guys next time.